Thank you for joining the class. I know it's not very, how can I say, um, it's actually not, the time is really bad. I know that, and I know it's over lunch, and not everyone can take lunch, and it's also um, later than lunch. But yeah, we are trying now to implement the classes like this. Um, So remember, if you cannot attend, remember there is a recording going to be uploaded. Unfortunately, yesterday's recording could only be uploaded this morning. There was an error when we downloaded the recording, and yes, it took us forever to get the recording to work. So I apologize for that. I really hoped we could upload it yesterday afternoon. So if you, those of you had a chance to go through the notes again, or yeah, on the recording, of course, I hope you felt better about it, meaning that you understood the concepts better, where you were uncertain. And I hope this afternoon's class is going to be also beneficial. So as I said yesterday, we did the periodic inventory system. Now, I just quickly first, I want to just kindly ask everyone to respect everyone's time, and yeah, if someone has a question, to please let that person speak, wait for your turn, and also yes, sorry, I see the presentation. Yes, apologies. The inventory and perpetual inventory systems is in one presentation. So I will upload it with this recording for you guys to have. Um, okay, so yeah, just respect one another. Please keep yourself muted, and I will quickly then unmute you guys. Let me just see. Yes, you can now unmute. Um, yes, so I hope, like I said, the class will be beneficial. And yes, if there's any questions, please ask. I'm going to quickly share my SharePoint, apologies, PowerPoint presentation. Can I just ask again via thumbs up or chat if um, you can see my screen? It's green. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, so this is just a quick, um, how can I say, catch up on the periodic inventory system. Like we said yesterday, the recording of inventory for the periodic inventory system is as follows. Under the periodic inventory system, you use the purchases of inventory. The purchases of inventories, apologies, is not recorded in the inventory account, but in the purchases account. And also, any sales of inventory are recorded in the sales account. Okay? So here we also say under the periodic inventory system, the cost of sales, which is supposed to be taken into account each time you sell inventory, is not taken into account when you use the periodic inventory system and you sell inventory. It is only determined at the end of the recording of the sale. The cost of sales can only be determined at the end of the financial period after a physical inventory count has been done. So, just again shortly, we said if you have inventory and you purchase it, you record it in your purchases account, and then sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I will respond now. You will record it in a purchases account, and if there's sales, you will record it in a sales account. And cost of sales will not be recorded with sales throughout the year or the period. And yes, so, and inventory also, there will be a inventory, a stock take, as they say, or physical inventory count done at the end of the year. So this should be straightforward. The only other, how can I say, please mute yourself. Thank you. The only other thing that you need to know is you have to ask yourself, did you purchase on credit or cash? If it was cash, it means it's your bank account that's affected. If it was on credit, you purchases, so you owe money. So it's trade and other payables that's applicable. When we go to sales and it's cash, it means the bank account's applicable. Okay? And if the sales were on credit, the sales was on credit. Apologies, I'm checking the chat. Okay. When there was sales on credit, it means you sold something on credit. So there is clients that owe you money. So the trade and other receivables account, because you still need to receive that money, is applicable. So basically, it's straightforward. You use the purchases account, the sales account, and then just determine whether it's cash or on credit, and make sure you choose the correct trade and other receivables or trade to other payables account. And then the last part of the slides, yesterday, we looked at bringing the cost of sales in to account, and then also writing off the opening balance of the inventory, and then taking into account the inventory that they got after the physical inventory count was done. So I hope that helped for a quick recap for you. Let me just quickly go to my slideshows that we can get to the perpetual inventory system. I really hope we can get through everything. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. It doesn't want to take me there, so let me quickly move like this. I thought it would take it. Okay, here's the perpetual inventory system. So now you forget about the periodic. Okay. Um, the class has started and there is no sound. I think try to leave and then try to leave and then rejoin. Okay. Then you might have sound. I know that's sometimes a problem. Okay, the perpetual inventory system. This is exactly the same as it is in your learning unit. I'm not going to go through it. You can go through it on your own. As I've mentioned already, the slides contains the slides of yesterday's class, the periodic inventory, and today's class. It's in one slideshow presentation. I will share it with the recording as soon as we have as soon as the recording has been edited and finalized. Okay, so like I said, this is exactly like the same as the um, diagram that you have in your learning material. Just like the periodic inventory system, this is a nice summary that you can look at. Okay. Um, Now, the perpetual inventory system, journal entries during the year. When a business maintains a perpetual inventory, let me just mute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I've muted. Let me just go back again. Okay. So when a business maintains a perpetual inventory record and additional inventory is acquired, the inventory account is continuously updated, not at the end of the year, as we said with the with the periodic inventory system. This occurs after each inventory purchase and sale. Okay? When the periodic inventory system is in place and inventory is purchased, the purchases account is used to record the receipts of inventory, and as such, an adjustment must be made at the end of the year, like we just said, basically, to calculate the cost of sales and bring in the new inventory amount. In terms of the perpetual inventory system, at the end of the year, the cost of sales and inventory accounts do not have to be adjusted, like in the in the periodic inventory system yesterday, as it has been adjusted throughout the year. Okay, so this means cost of sales will each time be taken into account when there's a sale. Okay, yes, exactly the same example as we did with the periodic inventory system. Um, I'm going to, the reason I use the same is so that you can see the difference. Okay, so let us see. Before I continue, I just want to say that the why, if this was now a proper question that you received in your assignment or examination, we would have given you a required part at the bottom asking you what to do, and we would give you instructions. Now, the first thing when you get or open your question that you do is you read your instructions. Make sure you understand it. If it says you must use a zero and no decimal spaces, then do that. If you use 2 decimal spaces or more, you will be marked incorrect, or the answer will be marked incorrect. Okay, so there's small things that you need to please take note of there. A lot of students lose marks because they don't read the instructions carefully. Then secondly, I always read the required part to know what is expected from me. And then I start by reading through the question. Okay, the information for a business was at 31st December year end for recording inventory using the perpetual inventory system. Okay, so here we just say an account is a summary record of all transactions relating to a particular item in an entity. It's like yesterday when I explained that we are not going to open each time when we have a purchase, a new purchase account. No, we will have one purchase account and we will record each time there's a purchase, we will record it in the purchases account, this one specific account, so that everything is summarized in one, like we say, T account or general ledger account. The same with the sales, of course. Okay, so let's see the first transaction. The business started the financial year with 20,000 Rand inventory on hand. So I'm sure you guys will agree that this is the opening balance of your inventory. Now, inventory is an asset, and the asset increases on the debit side. And as I said yesterday, the opening balance is usually recorded on the increasing side of a T account or general ledger account. Okay, so if this was, for example, let's say trade and other payables, which is a liability, which increases on the credit side, then the opening balance would have been recorded on the right-hand side. Okay, so we're bringing in the opening balance. Oh, okay, I'm just checking. Thank you guys for responding in the chat. Okay, let me start. Okay. Okay, inventory of 10,000 Rand was purchased. This is now your second transaction. So purchases occurred by the business for cash. Okay. Now I'm not going to say so much as I did yesterday and giving the answer and give the answer away. We will go directly to my poll that I created. Which account will be debited? Remember now, this is the perpetual inventory system. You use the inventory account, and when there's a sale, not in this case, you will use the cost of sale account. Let's see. Okay, you guys are getting there. That's good. Okay, yes. Well done, everyone. Yo. Okay, you're getting better and better. Okay, well done, and thank you for taking part in the poll. Yes, it is your inventory account. Remember, like I said, um, we only open one account. So there's one inventory account. Here we recorded the opening balance just now. And now we are recording the second transaction. So we purchased inventory for cash. So now you're not using a purchases account as in the periodic inventory system. You are using the inventory account as it should actually be. Okay. Your inventory therefore increased. Okay. Now, which account will be credited? I'm launching another poll. I'm sure you guys will know this one. Oh, yes, 100%. Wow, you made my day. No, stay with your first decision. Well, it's still very good. No, it's decreasing. Stay with your first decision. Oh, yes, it's going again. But it was on 100, so well done, everyone. Okay, is your bank account. Okay. And remember, as I explained, you write the account name of the opposite account here in your bank account. So that if you go to your bank account and you go and you look for a transaction and you see inventory 10,000 Rand, then you will know this was regarding inventory that was purchased because the bank decreased. Okay? The same is when the inventory was purchased. Here we wrote the bank account. So when we look here at the transactions and we see bank account, we will know, of course, it's cash. And then we will know it's related to the bank account and 10,000 Rand was purchased. Okay. Now, this is just again, I show you the journal, how the journal entry works. It's exactly as yesterday. You debited inventory and you credited bank. So literally you're going to say inventory and you write the amount in the debit column, and then bank, you will write the amount in the credit column. But as I said yesterday, we usually ask that you put an indent You know, put the account name a bit further to the right-hand side to distinguish between debit and credit for the account names. Although we know it if we look at the amounts, okay? And then this is just a narration that we give. Just to a short summary, just to say what happened. We purchased inventory for cash. Okay, let's see. On third transaction, inventory of 15,000 was purchased by the business on the 31st of May on credit. So we purchased inventory, and this is the perpetual inventory system on credit. Okay, so I'm launching the next poll. Tell me which account will be debited. You 100%. I can't believe it. No, I can. You guys are very clever. Yes, it's inventory account. Well done, everyone. Yes. So we inventory account, we had to remember the opening balance. The one that I'm writing here is to indicate it's your first transaction. The two is the second transaction of the cash purchases that we had of inventory, which involved the bank account. And then now, in this case, it was purchased on credit, and we increased again the inventory account because we purchased inventory. And inventory is an asset, and an asset increases on the debit side. Okay, I'm launching another poll. Tell me which account will be credited. So did you buy on credit or did you sell on credit? Wow, okay, no, I think I can stop the class. You are doing so well with these polls. I think you're fine. Well done and thank you for taking part. Yes. The trade and other payables account. Remember, like I said, I remember it as payables because payables is telling me I still need to pay. I bought something on credit. That's how I remember trade and other payables. And because I owe people money or client money, it is a liability for us, for the attorney's practice. And remember, a liability increase on the credit side. And we purchased inventory on credit, so it will be recorded on the credit side. Okay, so now again, we wrote the account names of the opposite account, trade and other payables here, so that we know when we go through this account, we had the balance, we had bank cash purchases, and now we had credit purchases. The same with trade and other payables. Here we have only one transaction, so we will know immediately we purchased on credit. We purchased inventory on credit. Okay. This is again the journal entry, which I'm just showing again. So what happened here? Inventory was debited. Trade and other payables was credited. So inventory was debited with the amount of 15,000 rand. Trade and other payables was credited. And like I say, we usually make an indent here or move the credit account a bit more to the right hand side, just for when you see the amounts, sorry, not the amounts, the account names that you will immediately know this one is debited, this one is credited. Although, like I said, one can see it here in the amounts. And then just again a short narration to say what happened. We purchased inventory on credit. Okay, the fourth transaction. Inventory of 22,000 Rand, selling price, was sold by the business on the 31st of May for cash. So this time we are selling inventory for cash. So I'm launching another poll. Tell me which account do you think will be debited? Wow, almost 100%. No, don't change. Yeah, that's increasing again. Well done. You are correct. The bank account. Why? Because it was cash. Actually, what I do is I always, when I read a transaction, I stop and I ask myself first, okay, was it cash or on credit? If it was cash, your bank account's applicable. Bank account increase on the debit side, decrease on the credit side, and then you decide on which side the transaction or the amount should be recorded. And when it was on credit, you decide whether it's straight in either receivables or payables. And then again, according to the rules, determine on which side the amount will be recorded. And then I only go and read um, the rest of the transaction. Okay, so yeah, bank account will be applicable and it will increase on the debit side since we sold something and we received cash. Okay, you will remember at the second transaction, we had inventory that we sold, um, which, oh, no, sorry, which we purchased for cash, which decreased the bank account. Okay, now let's go to my next poll. Which account do you think will be credited? Okay, I see you guys are a bit unsure. Ask yourself what happened. We already know we sold inventory for cash, so that's already we recorded the cash part. Now we need to record the next part. Let's see. Sales account. Okay, I see you guys were struggling between inventory and sales, which I would also have struggled with. Yes, we start with the normal sales account. Remember the selling price. Okay, and sales takes place and sales income. Income increase on the credit side, and therefore this transaction is recorded on the credit side. Okay. I hope so far everyone is with me. Let's go on. Oh, before we go on, let's already talk about it before I go to the journal entry. What happened here? We had the bank account, which was debited because we received cash. Our sales account was credited because sales took place. So, bank account amount will be recorded on the debit side and the credit side, of course, and then we say sell inventories for cash. I just want you to take note of this. Here I say part A. Okay. So part A is you record it either in the bank account, trade and other payables, or trade and other receivables. And then your sales account will still be applicable. And then you have to go to your next part. Here we go. Okay. So we're still going on with the fourth transaction, which we just recorded the first part, part A. Okay. So part B is you recognize inventory. Oh my gosh. No. You recognize inventory and cost of sales. Okay. So I'm launching a poll again. I hope you didn't see the answer. Um, which account will be debited? So we sold inventory for 22,000 Rand for cash. We already recorded it in the bank account and in the sales account. Now we should record it or recognize it, as they say, the inventory and the cost of sales. Remember, we already recorded in the bank account. Let me go back. Remember here, it's the same transaction as we had here. Okay? We just have two parts. You have a part A and a part B. Okay? So part A, we already said, okay, what happened? There was cash, your bank account's applicable. There was cash sales, so you recorded on the increasing side. Okay. And we already recorded as well the sales account. We wrote bank and the amount on the credit side since sales will increase. So remember, we already accounted for the bank account and the sales account. Okay. So think again carefully. If we still use the same transaction and we now have to enter or recognize that the transaction, the amount in the inventory and cost of sales account. Okay, I'm very glad to see it changed. Yes, it's the cost of sales account. That's correct. Okay. So yes, so we recognized it, the inventory in the cost of sales account, which is an expense. So when sales takes place, there's also cost involved and expenses increase on the debit side. So that's why we entered the transaction in the on the debit side. But now we must make sure we enter the correct amount. Because remember, when you sell inventory for cash, that selling price does not or already includes your markup percentage, meaning your profit that you will make. But when you record an amount in cost of sales, it must be the amount before that. Okay, so let's look at how. I have another poll. How will you calculate the cost price of the inventory? I will give you guys. Sure, okay, that's good. Wow, okay, well done. Okay, so we take the 22,000 Rand. You will see it's exactly the same as in the previous slideshow, transaction 4 and 6. So you take 22,000 Rand, multiply by 100, divide by 125, and then you get your selling price. Okay, so which account will be credited? I'm launching another poll. Okay, it looks good. Now go back to your initial decision. Yes, yes. Okay, well done, you guys. So which account will be credited? We remember we already recognized the amount. We should just have written it in. But we calculated it first in the cost of sales. And now we will have your inventory account. And remember, like I said, I indicate the 1 and 2 and 3 because that's the transactions we already recorded in the inventory account. Okay, this was the opening balance. This was a bank. Uh, this was the bank account because there was cash purchases, and then trade and other payables because there was credit purchases. Okay, so now here we write the amount we calculated in the cost of sales. Okay, now where do you record the other, what account will be applicable also, and that we already said was the inventory account. So here we also write 17,600. And like I said, we write the opposite name of the opposite account. Cost of sales is here and inventory here. So when you look at your inventory account, you will know this is cost of sales that was recognized or recorded at cost price. Okay, let's see. Let's go on. Oh, okay. Um, we are again, remember there was a part A and part B. Part A, we already did the journal. It was the bank and the sales account. Now we are looking at cost of sales, which debited, and inventory, which credited. Okay. So now here is part B, cost of sales. Part B, yes, was recorded on the debit side and inventory on the credit side. And then we just have a little narration, transfer of cost of inventory sold to the cost of sales account. Okay, so that's basically what happens when you sell inventory for cash. Okay, where in the periodic inventory system, we would have just had part A. We would have just had bank and sales. But now with the perpetual, we also recognize the inventory account and the cost of sales account throughout the year. So there's continuous updating of how many or how much inventory is available and what is your cost of sales and so on. Okay. So far, we have done now one transaction. Oh, not one, I mean a transaction regarding um, this selling of the inventory for cash. Can you just show me by way of thumbs up? Oh, I see there's a chat, sorry. Um, oh, thank you for answering. Thumbs up and chat whether you are fine until here. Okay, so it looks like, okay, wonderful. I'm so glad. Okay, now let's go to the fifth transaction. Okay, I remember we have to put this additional information together. Okay, because you have your selling price and we need the price before you sell it. So that's why we put this here so that you can remember when recording it in your cost of sales account and inventory, it should be recorded without or before the markup of 25%. Okay, the 125, I see someone's asking. Let me quickly go back. Okay. I wish I could draw something because I do it on a different way. Okay. It's markup on cost. Okay. So if you look in your in inventory in your learning unit 3, you will see that they also have like a blocks that they draw. They will have cost, profit or yeah, gross profit, and then lastly the selling price. Now, if you say the markup is on cost, it means the top will be 100. Your profit will be 25. And your total, which is the selling price, will be 125. Now we are giving you the selling price. So we are giving you the 125 percentage here at the bottom. Okay? So you want the cost, okay? The cost of the inventory. So we know already it's 25%. We know already it's 100% at the top and at the bottom 125. So now you take your selling price, you multiply it by what you want. What do you want? You want the 100% which is on cost. What do you have? You have your selling price, which is 125. And if that's how we get the 17,600. I didn't ruin now or make you confuse you guys now. Because I was talking in the air here. I couldn't illustrate it for you. Tabang, did I answer your question? Then just put a thumbs up or okay, wonderful. Okay. Let's just quickly go on. Oh, I went on now. I hope you guys didn't see it. Okay. We're going on to the transaction on the 5th. Okay. I just loading the poll so long. Okay. Let me just go to it. I say, okay. So inventory of 26,000 Rand. Remember the selling price after you've included your 25% markup, meaning your profit, was sold by the business on credit. So the other transaction was cash. So we had bank and sales. This time we have sales on credit. And remember the markup on inventory cost is 25%. Okay. So which account do you think will be debited? Okay, well done. Let's see. The trade and other receivables. Like I always say, receive. You still need to receive that money from your clients or other entities that bought on credit from you. So wonderful. So trade and other receivables is an asset. So it will increase on the debit side. Okay. So because sales took place on credit, it will be recorded on the increasing side because it took place. And here you record the full 26,000 Rand. Okay, let's see. Which account will now be credited? Oh my gosh, almost 100%. Just stick with that. Just stick with your first answer. Let's see. Yes, the sales. Remember, it's just like the first or the previous transaction. Only difference is here we had it on credit, and the other transaction were the bank account. Okay. So sales, remember the fourth transaction, we recorded the bank, which I just mentioned, 22,000 Rand. Now you have to record your credit transaction on the credit side because sales is an income and the income increase on the credit side. So now you can see when you look at your sales account, okay, what happened here? It was bank account was applicable. So there was cash sales. Okay, here it's trade and other receivables. And so that means we sold on credit. Okay. Here's the narration again. Oh, not narration. Apologies. The journal entry again. Okay, so as I said, I go back and we say trade and other receivables were debited. The sales account were credited. So we will record it as such. Remember, this is part A. I forgot to say that. So your trade and other receivables will be debited and your sales credited. And what happened? We sold inventory for cash. Okay. Now we're looking at the fifth transaction. Okay. This is part B. Okay. So this means now you're going to recognize inventory and the cost of sales, not the selling price. It will be the cost before you add the 25%. Okay. Going to launch a poll again. Oh, it takes a while now. Okay, here it loaded now. Okay, which account will be debited if inventory of 26,000 Rand was sold on credit? So remember, we already recorded the trade and other receivables account and the um, sales account. So now we have to bring cost of sales and inventory into account. Oh, wonderful. Yes, well done, everyone. The cost of sales account. Okay, so the cost of sales is an expense. Okay, so remember it increases then on your debit side. So inventory was sold on credit. Okay, and now we need the cost price. Just like we calculated the previous one, the previous transactions cost price. Okay, so we need to calculate the amount. Let's see. I have a poll again. I think this will maybe me also be an easy one. Hmm. Wow, literally 100%. Literally, I wish I could take a screenshot. Well done. Wow. Yes, we take the 26,000 Rand. We said it was on cost. So what do we have? We have the 100% plus the 125. and we have, oh, yeah, yes, sorry, the 100%, and then 100% plus 25 gives you your selling price. Okay, but we want the cost price before you add the 25. So it's 26,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 125. It gives you 20,800. Now I'm going to launch again a poll. Which account will be credited? By now, I think you should know. Almost, almost. I say no. Just keep your answers as it is. Well done again. We have our inventory account. So it's, you see, it's a bit chaos here, but it's because I wrote um, additional information in brackets and also indicated which transaction was this. Okay, so here we write now the amount we calculated here in the cost of sales. And remember, inventory was sold, so your inventory account will decrease with the cost of sales amount. Here we show the calculation again. Now we are going to do part B, the journal entry again. Cost of sales were debited, inventory were credited. So here we go. Cost of sales was debited, inventory credited, and transfer of cost of inventory sold to the cost of sales account. Okay. How do you guys feel until here? Do you understand it? Is it a bit better than the periodic? You can just thumbs up or give it type something in the chat. Okay, I like the thumbs up. Okay. You want to ask a question, Matutu? You can unmute.
No, I'm covered, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. That's wonderful. Okay, so far I think it went well. Okay. Now the conclusion. The effect of the journal entries above that we just did is that there are cash sales of 22,000 Rand. Okay, remember the first transaction that can be matched against an expense. Cost of inventory sold, that's 17,600 that we calculated, which gives us the profit of 4,400. So this is the 25%. It's 4,400. This was your 125%. This was your 100%. And like I just said, this is your 125%. The same with the credit transaction. There was sales of 26,000. So that is your 125%. Your cost of your inventory was 100%. And then your profit, the 25,000 Rand, is actually 5,200. And then I say the big difference between the perpetual and periodic inventory system is the continuous adjustment of inventory for the perpetual inventory system, or an adjustment only at certain times, your periodic inventory system. So this is just to, just to, for you to take note and see a bigger picture. Oh, you got it. Okay. Let's go on. Okay. Now we have the perpetual inventory systems year-end adjustments. Now the closing of entries Remember, we also had it in the periodic inventory system. I think the last site was the one with the blocks and it was very, very busy. Okay, the closing of entries required at the end of the financial year under the perpetual inventory or the periodic inventory systems are the same with the following exceptions. For the periodic inventory system, an entry is made into inventory to adjust the balance to the amount of inventory that was accounted and valued at the end, including the adjustment of the cost of sales account. Otherwise, the steps are exactly the same. So let's see. Okay, we have following transactions for Africa supplies took place during May. So we have again your part A. Now this is again, like I said, year-end adjustments. You just load again my polls. It takes quite a while. Don't know why. There it opened. Okay. Oh no. Yes. Okay, I have it. So on 1 May, Africa suppliers purchased 1,000 units of inventory at 30 Rand per unit on credit. Okay? So how will you calculate the amount of inventory that was purchased? There's a poll again. Wow. 100%. No, don't change. Okay. So what we did was, well done everyone, was we took the 1,000 units of inventory and it costs 30 Rand per unit. As you can see, 1,000 units multiplied by 30 Rand per unit gives you cost price of 30,000 Rand. Okay? Remember cost price, not your selling price. Now I want to know which account will be debited. So I'm launching a poll. So remember, on 1 May, they purchased inventory on credit, and we already calculated the amount. Okay, I see this one is a bit difficult. Not everyone. Okay, let's see. Which account will be debited when you purchase on credit? Inventory. Okay. So those of you who chose inventory, well done. Okay. So yes, your inventory account will be increasing on the debit side because it's an asset, and it will decrease with the cost price of 30,000 Rand since you purchased inventory. Okay. So now I want to know which account will be credited. I'm launching a poll again. Wow, almost 100%. Well done. Yes. Trade and other payables, meaning you still need to pay a client or a entity where you purchased on credit, which means this is a liability, and liabilities increase on the credit side. So here you write inventory, the opposite name of the name of the opposite account, and 30,000 Rand cost price. Okay. Now this was part A, okay? So what happened? Inventory was debited. Trade and other payables was credited. So let's see how it looks in the journal. Inventory was debited. Trade and other payables was credited. And we just say purchase of inventory. Remember, this is not a fixed narration. You can write anything that you want um, to make it for you that understandable of what happened. Okay. So let's go to part B. The same transaction, but something has changed. On 1 May, this was the first transaction. Purchase 1,000 units of inventory at 30 Rand per unit on credit. Part A again, the second transaction, Africa Suppliers sold 200 units of inventory at 50 Rand per unit on credit. Okay, so how will we calculate the selling price of inventory that was sold? Launching a poll again. Wonderful. Okay, so easy. You took the 200 units, multiplied by 50 Rand per unit, and then you get the selling price of 10,000 Rand. Okay, we sold on credit, so now I want to know which account will be debited. I launch the poll again. Let's see. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we sold inventory on credit. Yes, trade and other receivables. For those of you who chose that, well done. Trade and other receivables, because you sold on credit, it means you still need to receive money from a client. So, and that means this is an asset account, And because assets increase on the debit side, you record your sales here, the 10,000 Rand. Okay. Now I want to know which account will be credited. Okay, well done. Your sales account. Yes. Sales is a revenue or income. It increases on the credit side. Since we sold something, it occurred, so it will be increasing on the credit side. And we write trade and other receivables with the 10,000 Rand. Okay. Now this was part A. Now again, we are just showing the narration that you of what happened here. I'm sure you guys are now fine with that. Can I just see with a thumbs up or comment in the chat? Then we can move on a bit quicker, you know?
Hello, ma'am. I have a question.
Okay, just wait. The first hand is Themba. Themba, you can unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Good day. Good day, colleagues. I just wanted to find out under the 10,000, there is a 30,000 rands there.
Oh,
Where is
yes,
it
I
from?
should have taken that out. It's when we total the amounts on that side.
Okay,
So
understood. Thank
this
you.
I should have taken out. It's just that the next amount plus that 10,000 will give you the 30. Thank you
Alright,
for
thank you.
showing me that. Let me just make a note so that I can take it out before I upload it for you guys. I would really hope we can upload it still this afternoon. Let me
Thank you.
see. Yes. Okay. Oh, you said thank you. Okay, let me just see. Part A. Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure because to go through over 100 slides is not so nice. Okay, that's it. So, okay, sorry. So the narration, you guys agree? I can just basically skip because this is straightforward. Do you guys agree? Thumbs up, chat. Okay, thumbs up. Okay, I'm glad you feel that. Then we can go faster. Okay, now part B. Recognize inventory and cost of sales. The second transaction, the supplier sold 200 units of inventory at 50 Rand per unit on credit. How will you calculate the cost price of the inventory that was sold? Why doesn't my poll want to go down? Oh, I'm in the chat. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I will launch it now. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, I have it. Okay, I'm launching it. So how will you calculate the cost price? Okay. Let's see. Okay. So those of you, yes, who said 6,000 were correct. So don't change now. Okay. How can I say, the part that change is this, the 30 Rand and the 50 Rand. Remember the 50 Rand is the selling price, and the previous example, we said that there was a 30 Rand for cost on sales. So now we're using the 30 Rand and not the 50 Rand so that we can determine the cost price. So we took 200 units, multiplied by 30, and then we get 6,000 Rand. Does this make sense to you guys? Because remember, now we're moving to the cost price. We are done with the selling price. It was trade and other receivables and sales. Then we recorded the full amount, the 50 Rand. Now we are recognizing inventory and cost. Okay, let's go on. Which account will now be debited? Okay, let's see. So we sold 200 units per 50 or at 50 Rand per unit on credit. Okay, it looks better. I see a few of you are still hesitant. Okay, not bad. Yes, your cost of sales. So, what cost of sales is an expense, and there was cost involved when you sold something or when you sold this inventory. So you debit it. with the 6,000 Rand cost price that you calculated. Sisu, you can unmute.
Okay,
Sisu?
ma'am. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we move to the 6,000, can we please
Yes.
just clarify how do we get to the 30 Rand per unit before we
Okay.
move? Thank
Remember
you.
previously in all this where we had the transactions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the beginning. There we looked at each transaction, and one of those transactions said there was 30 Rand that was the cost price unit. Okay. So that's why we're not using the 50 Rand, because the 50 Rand is part of your sales that were on credit. And now you want to calculate the cost of sales and inventory. And cost of sales is before the 50 Rand. So it's before you put your markup percentage to the unit. Does it make sense? So it's just you must go through, go back to the slides, go back, and then you will see the 30 Rand there. I can go back, but then it will take time to come here again. Does it make sense? Can you?
Yeah, yes, I think I'm sorted now, ma'am. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, just go back to the first slide, where we started with the transactions.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
Okay, pleasure. Okay, so we got that. Okay, which account will be credited? Oh, sorry, Temba, you can
Hello
unmute.
again.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I think I have a bit of a challenge when it comes to part B, when we have to recognize inventory and cost of sales, and then from there we have to determine which one to credit and which one to debit. Could you please maybe explain that as to when we start in recognizing the inventory and the cost of sales, why do we debit the why do we debit cost of sales and then why do we debit inventory, please?
Okay, like I've said, remember when there's sales, there's also costs involved. That's where we have our cost of sales. So when sales took place, your cost of sales, which is an expense, was recorded on the debit side because the rule says an expense increase on the debit side. The same with the inventory. Let me go back. The inventory account. An inventory account is an asset. And what happened? We sold inventory. So your inventory account will be credited, meaning it will be decreased because you sold inventory. Does it make sense now?
Yes, ma'am, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, pleasure. Okay, let's go to poll 31. Oh my gosh, time is catching up. Let's see quickly. What do you guys think? I think I already said what I gave the answer, but let's see. Yes, 100%. Well done. Wow. Okay, yes. Your inventory. Again, remember, I showed you this was the first transaction that took place. Credit purchases for 30,000 Rand. That was the 30 Rand. The 50 Rand. And here it's your cost of sales that we had for 6,000 Rand. Okay, so now we are going to determine the balance. Now you will see here we have 30,000 Rand on the debit side, on the left side. On the credit side, we only have 6,000 Rand. So we need to balance these two parts. The debit and credit should be the same balance. And if I look at the account, it is clear that on the debit side, the amount is much larger than on the credit side. So what amount do you need to record on the credit side so that it balances out with 30,000 Rand? You will take your 30,000 Rand minus your 6,000 Rand, and then you will get 24,000 Rand. And then if you add that, you will see it's the 30,000 Rand and it balances. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Thumbs up or chat. Oh, I haven't gone to the chat for a while, sorry. Let's see. Oh, nothing. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's good. Just go on to my polls again. Okay. So this is again just a journal that we are recording the cost of sales and inventory. Okay. You see, here was the 50 Rand because we recorded sales. Here it's the cost of the sales. So here we use the 30 Rand. Okay. Here is the example I was showing or drawing in the air for you. This is the example. Azai, I'm so glad. So we're looking quickly at markup on cost. Okay. Now cost of sales is the cost price, CP abbreviated, the 10,000 Rand of inventory that was sold during a period. The selling price, SP, of 15,000 Rand is what the inventory was sold for. Oh my gosh, sorry. Was sold for. Okay. So the markup on percentage on cost. Remember, if it says on cost, it means your cost price is 100%. If it says sales, then it is 100% for sales here. Okay. Is the gross profit percentage of the cost price. So we are actually now determining, oh, sorry guys, I went again on this because we are using the amounts. Okay. So remember, it's on cost. First, always you have your cost price, which you purchase your inventory for. Then you have your profit or markup, as we say. And then you have your selling price. So we are giving you your cost price. It's 10,000 Rand. And remember, it's on cost. So that's your 100%. And we are telling you the selling price is 15,000 Rand. And remember, we already know what the, we don't know the markup percentage. Apologies. So we take the 15,000, multiply by 50, divided by 150, and you should get the 5,000 Rand. Let's see. Here's a formula for you to learn if you don't understand the method I use. You are welcome to learn this formula out of your head and do it the same way. So here you will put your selling price, multiply by 100, divide by 100, plus markup percentage on cost. Okay, so here we show you. Okay, let's just read here that to calculate the cost price when the markup percentage is 20%. So they're giving us the markup. and the selling price is 12%. Apologies, 12,000 rand are given. You can use the following formula. So your cost price, this one here, your selling price we give you, it's the 12,000 rand. Multiply by 100, divide by 100, plus markup on cost. So it's 120. Okay. Then you will get your amount here. The 12,000. No, sorry, we gave you that. You will get your markup profit, the amount. You can also have just said 10,000 minus 12,000 and also just got the amount like that. Okay, I must move a bit faster. We're not going to finish. This is now the same, but it's the selling price formula. Okay, remember it's always cost price, markup, selling price, always. Okay, so here you have your cost price, which they gave us here at the top. It's the 12,000 rand plus, again, the cost price, multiply by markup percentage. So it's your cost price multiplied by your markup percentage, the 20,000 they give us. And then you get 14,400 here. So you can either use the formula, or if this makes more sense to you, you can use this way. Okay, sure. We don't have a lot of time left. I just want to, before any one of you have to leave, quickly copy and paste the evaluation form to ask you guys to please complete it so that we know where we can approve to help you guys. Let me just paste it. Okay, so please, if you have a bit of time, it's quick. You can just please complete it. The practice questions is basically, as you will see, the lessons that you work through. There you they give you also examples and work through it via a PowerPoint presentation. And there's also other explanations that you can watch on YouTube that we give you. So that's how you can practice. We will see if we can add some more practices. But yeah, time is unfortunately against us, but we'll try our best. This province is the Gauteng province. We are in Pretoria, based on the main campus. But remember, you can join any province. So far, it's been us, the lecturers, and it's been the Western Cape, Miss Aziza Fortuyn's class, which you guys attended. The Gauteng regional classes will start soon. Okay. I post always at the end of a week schedule of the next week's classes, topics, and the links that you can use. Okay, let's see quickly. When a trading entity purchases an inventory item, the price paid at the beginning of the financial year may not be the same price that is paid for the inventory item at a later stage in the financial year. Not all inventory is sold by the end of the financial year, and the trading entity will need to place a value on the inventory still on hand at the end of the financial year. Okay, so the valuation method used by the trading entity to determine the cost of the inventory, and therefore the cost of sales, should be the one thing that brings the most realistic determination of profit in the particular entity. So just a bit of theory. Okay, there's two valuation methods, the first in, first out, or as we call it, the FIFO method. This means that according to this method, the items that were sold first are sold first. And inventory on hand is therefore valued at the latest price. Okay. I'm not going to even say something about the weighted average, because you will see here, we also say this in your learning unit, that for FAC 1503, we focus just on the FIFO method. Okay. Now here was an example. I see we have 4 minutes left. I don't know who of you can stay a bit longer. I think it will be 10 to 15 minutes. Then I can quickly just also go through this so that it's on the recording for students that did or couldn't attend the class. Okay. Let me just mute. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just see the chat. Oh, okay. Thank you for assisting there. Okay. Now, the following table illustrates the movement in inventory for a month for one type of inventory. Okay. So this is this is your question. Okay. Now you need to indicate the answer in this block in each column that we give you. Okay. I could unfortunately not delete these entries below so that we can just look at one entry each time. I unfortunately just could bold it. Okay. So look here, the first entry is on the 2nd of February, and it was 10 units at 1,000 rand. So now we're going to record this in that there it goes. Okay, with exactly the same. I'm just showing you against each entry separately. Okay. I can call it maybe a transaction as well. Okay, so it's the 2nd of February. So it was 10 at 1,000 rand. Okay. This was units on hand. Okay. So this was basically the opening balance. So if you take 10 and you multiply it by 1,000 rand. So 10 units multiplied by 1,000 rand, you get 10,000 rand. That's your cost price. So this means you have a 10,000 rand balance, which is 10 units on hand. Okay? So you bought 10 units of inventory. Let's go to the next one. It's on the 3rd of February. Inventory was sold. Okay? 5 units of inventory was sold. So now you go immediately to the inventory sold column. Okay? Now you need to calculate the units on hand. So now, of course, you're going to take that 10 units minus the rate. You see, it's both rate column, minus the 5 units that we just sold. So now we have 5 units still left. Okay? And 5 units multiplied again by 1,000 gives you 5,000 rand cost. This is in brackets because remember, you sold inventory. So this was your open inventory. And this is your selling when you sold the inventory. So that's going to decrease now your opening balance. Now the next one is on the 6th of February. Inventory was received 8 units at 1,100. So no, not 1,000 rand. So here we go. We just entered it in inventory received. So we received 8 units at 1,100. Okay. So the 8 will always be part of the 1,100. So now we received inventory. So now the green 5 units at the top that we had left, we take that and we plus the 8 units that we just bought. So now you have 13 units. Okay. Now you must be careful. You must now differentiate between the 1,100 and the 1,000 rand. Okay. You can take the 8,000, the 8 units, which is this in orange here, and you multiply it by 1,100. That will give you 8,800. Okay? But now your balance will be different because this only contains the amount for the 1,100. We still have 5 units left for the 1,000 units per rand. Sorry, the 1,000 rand per unit. Okay, so here we say we have 5 units left, multiply by 1,000, as we had here at the beginning. Then we just plus this inventory that we just received again. And then we will get a new balance of 13,800. Okay. Just tell me so far until here. How is this? Do you understand this? By way of thumbs up and in the chat. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad it makes sense. Okay. Let's go on. The 16th, we sold 4 units of inventory. Now you must remember, we have 1,000 rand and 1,100 rand. So we must now make sure what unit are going to be sold and at what price. Okay, so let's go and see. It was units sold, for 4 units was sold. We had a total of 13 units. Here we have it. And you minus now the 4 units that you sold it for. Or sorry, the 4 units you sold. Okay, and then you will have your total units left, the 9. Okay, the 4 units is straightforward. You take 4, multiply by 1,000. Okay? Why am I saying that? Let's see. Here we got or received 8 units. We added the 8 units to the 5 existing units, which were part of the 1,000 rand per unit. When we added it, it was 13 units. Now we are taking the 13 units and minusing 4 units. Now you have 9 units left. The difference between the 9 and the 8 is 1. So there's still 1 unit left of 1,000 rand. So here you will see, and of course, you will have 9 units in total left. But now we have to split it. 4 units, we have to multiply by 1,000 to get 4,000 Rand. Remember, you are selling, so that's why it's in brackets. You're decreasing your cost price. Okay, here we are going to take the 1 unit, that's the 8 minus the 9, multiply it by 1,000, and then the 8 units, we will multiply by 1,100. Because remember, you must first use up your first units that you receive, that 10. You must first use that, and then you can just use this, the 1,100. Okay. So I know this is a bit the tricky one. Because of the colors, it may help a bit more. So basically, it's just you take your 13 minus your 4, but you must make sure now 8 units was left of the 1,000 Rand. And no, apologies, 8 was used for the 1,100 Rand, and 9 units were the total. And out of that, the difference is 1 unit still left. Like I said here, the 1 unit for 1,000 Rand. Does this make sense? Can you guys indicate by thumbs up or chat? Got 1 thumbs up. Oh, you lost the others. I know this one is a bit tricky. Another thumbs up. Guys, you must speak now or forever hold your breath, as they say. Okay, asking if I can explain again. Okay. I'm going to look at the previous transaction as well. So on the 6th of Feb, inventory, we received 8 units of inventory for 1,100. So this 8 units will always be 1,100. The amount that will be used will always be 1,100. Okay. So here we had 5 units left. We received the 10. We sold the 5. So we have 5 units left. And this is still part of, let me just go back. This 5 units is still part of the 1,000 Rand. Now we received, we sold, apologies. We sold 4 units. Okay. Now I'm confusing myself now. Oh yes, I just wanted to explain it's a 10 minus the 5. So you have 5 units left of 1,000 Rand. Then we got 8 units extra, but at 1,100. So the green 5 means it will be applicable to the 1,000 Rand, and the orange means, what type of orange? Brown. Will always be part of the 1,100 Rand. So here I can show it. Here's the 5 units, and there you have 1,000 Rand plus your 8 units that you just received, plus 1,000 Rand. 1,000 multiplied by 1,100 Rand. Okay. So now we have 5 plus 8 units. Now we have 13 units. So out of this 13 units, you have 5 units of 1,000 Rand and 8 units of 1,100 Rand. Now we are selling 4 units. So we take the 13, which was the new balance for the units on hand. We take the 13, we minus the 4 units, and then we have a total of 9 units. But remember, out of this 9 units, there's 8 units that are still applicable to 1,100. Okay? But the total is 9 units if you subtract the inventory sold. Okay? So you will take the 1 unit that's left, okay, which I determined by taking the 8 units minus the 9, and then you get 1 unit that is still applicable to the 1,000 rand, and 8 units that are still applicable to the 1,100 unit. Okay, yeah. And if you then add this, you will get your total balance of 9,800. Sure, I don't know how to explain it differently. Because like I said, we received 10 units. Okay, let's just first take the hands. Tuli, you can unmute.
Hi, ma'am. Afternoon, class. So I just have a question with the last step, right? So I remember earlier you said that the stock that arrives first will be the stock that we sell off first, right?
Yes, yes.
So on the last step, where we are doing the 13 minus 4 and we get the 9, how do we determine that the 8 falls under the 1.1 stock, because that came in last and then the 1,000 rand stock is left? Is it because we've already sold the stock prior? Is that,
yes.
Oh, did I miss that? Oh, we've already sold the entire 1,000 rand stock.
Oh, no, you didn't. You still had 1 left.
Okay, so this is where the 1,000 rand, the 1 times 1,000 rand then comes in that last step.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I see that. I missed that part. Okay,
Okay, no problem.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure. Okay, so again, we had 10,000 units at the beginning. We sold 5. We had 5 left. We received new units that's applicable to 1,100 rand. So we took the 5 units of 1,000 rand. We add 8 units. Oh, sorry. 8 units. That's part of 1,100 rand. And we got 13. Okay. And then we take the total of 13 minus the units sold that we now sold. And now the difference will be the 8 and the 9. There's 1 unit left of 1,000 rand, and then 8 units left of 1,100 rand. But remember now, that will be your balance. Part of your cost, you will take the 4 units multiplied by 1,000. Why 1,000? Oh, I know now. Okay. That was when you determined the cost first. Okay. Now, okay, let's go on to the 22nd of Feb. Okay. Now, remember we had 9 units of 1,100. Now we are selling 7 units. So 9 minus 7 gives you 2 units left. Okay? Now you will see here, we say the 2 units is still applicable to the 1,100. Okay? That is why you have a cost of 2,200. Okay. So then, okay, let's go to the last one. This is now again a new inventory that you receive, this time at 1,200. Okay. So now you received 4 units. You have 2 units left. This 4 units you calculate it by 1,200 rand, you get your 4,800, and then you had still 2 units left. That's part of the 1,100. So there's your 2 units, multiply by 1,100, and 4 units here, which is new, we multiply by 1,200. Did this make more sense to you guys? Yes, as they said in the chat, first in, first out method. First finish selling all the stock at the original cost. Exactly. That's exactly what we are doing here. Okay, so that's my story. I hope I didn't confuse you guys. I think if you go through it on your own, it will make a bit more sense. Because everything I think now is overwhelming. Especially with yesterday, there was also a class. And tonight is Miss Aziza's class, Aziza Fortuyn's class from the Western Cape. So I know it's a lot, but like I said, you don't need to attend all the classes. Really, you only need to attend the classes you prefer, and or not even attend classes and just listen to the recordings. You can unmute yourself and ask. It's a pleasure, Sibusiso. You can unmute. Lebitsa?
Afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I wanted to understand the last two transactions of February. I was a bit confused how we got to the 6 multiplied by 1,100 when we had I think it was we added how many 8 that we multiplied by 1,100, and we had 1 that we multiplied by 1,000. However, on the 22nd of February 1, it's 6 by 1,100. So I wanted to understand what happened to the other units.
Okay, this one here. Okay.
Yes.
Now I must also remember it's the cost. Okay. So let's go again. You had your 13 balance here, 13 here, minus the 4. And that's what you do here. You take your 4, which was sold, multiply by 1,000. Okay. Remember 1,000 because, no, 4. Yes, okay. Because there's 13 units. Okay. You take the 4,000, 4 units, apologies, and you multiply it by 1,000. Okay. So that's where the cost comes from here. Now, when you get to the balance, to determine now your balance, you're going to have still the difference between the 8 and the 9, which is the 1 unit. That was 1,000 rand. And then the 8 units, that was new. That was 1,100 rand. So this is your balance then. Okay. Let me just check this. Okay, yes. So it's the 1 and the 8. Okay, so now we take, we sell again 7 units. Okay. So we take the 9 minus the 7. So your cost will be the 7,000 multiply. No, apologies. The cost will be, you take the 9 units, you subtract 7. Okay. So there's 2 units left. But out of that 7, you must still calculate, determine how many units is left of the 1,000 rand. Here we set 1,000, so that's the balance that was left. That 8 is the balance that was left. So here you show the cost because you're actually bringing it in at cost. The 1 unit at 1,000. And this 6 is because you took your 8 units and you minus the 2 units here. Okay, because you sold 7 units. So that's where the 6 comes from. It's from your balance of 8 units minus your 2, because remember, you are already using the 1 that you had left. So now you are only focusing on the 1,100 units. And that 1,100 units, you have 8 left, minus the 2, and that will give you the 6 units. And then, of course, the balance of 2, you will multiply again by 1,100. Does that make more sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, it's a pleasure. There, there is the answer, makes sense. Okay, Temba?
Yes, ma'am. On the 26th of February, there's
Mm.
4. We are left with 4. Shouldn't we be left with 6? Carrying over the 2 that was left.
Remember, here we determine the cost price. Here we say what you have left. We had the 2 units left. So
Yes.
here, you're taking the 2 units again here, and that's your balance. And remember, we had, yes, 4 units that you received. Okay?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was 4 units plus the 2 units.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, it's a pleasure. Okay, everyone, I hope, must I paste the evaluation form again quickly? Let me see. I hope you guys have a few seconds to complete it. Yeah, this is my story. I really hope this was beneficial to you. I'll upload the slideshows of yesterday and today is combined in one slideshow. So I will upload the entire slideshow with the recording of this afternoon. Okay, because the recording of yesterday was already uploaded this morning in the announcement. Maredi, you can unmute. You have your hand up. Okay, maybe that's a mistake. Okay. So we are done with inventory. I hope this helped you. Like I said, it will feel you will be overwhelmed by everything. Most of you, I can say almost 95% of you have never had accounting before and or mathematics. So we are aware thereof, and that's why we really try our best to.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Oh, let me just finish talking. So that's why we try our best to assist you. I know I'm very slow. I try to be more precise and slow. I know some of you may already know the rules, but there's many students who still don't even know asset increases on the debit side and so on. So that's why I emphasize the rules again. But okay, sorry, Maredi, you can now talk. Sorry for that.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, just the last question. I just want to confirm whether I'm in line because it is what the last speaker was talking about. I thought we are going to have 4 plus 2.
Yes, that's correct.
I didn't see it on the today.
Look here, the previous, the 22nd. Here we show you we have 2 units left of 1,100. But remember, here we received units. We didn't
Is it on
sell
the
them.
slide?
Sorry?
I can't see the slide.
Oh,
that's
apologies. Let me share again. Can you see it now?
oh yeah.
Okay.
We are on the last transaction.
Yeah, but I just first want to show you this. We had 2 units left. Now we received 4 units
Yes.
at 1,200. So remember, we received, we didn't sell or anything. So we still have then the 2 units of 1,100 and the 4 units with the new price of 1,200. And the 4 and the 2 will give you 6.
Oh, on the left hand side. I thought I would see it there where it says unit on hand.
Yes,
It's
yes.
at the very bottom. It should be 6. So you say, oh, that one.
Yeah. Does it make sense?
Oh, okay. No, it's true. I thought, yeah, I lost that. All right. No, I'm clear. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Oh, thank you so much for the message in the chat. This really means so much to me. Really, I take it to heart. Thank you so much. But everyone, let me stop sharing. I hope you have a nice afternoon further. And yes, like I said, we will upload the recording with the entire slideshow as soon as possible. Thank you again for joining. And please, if there's any problems or questions, I'm going to type again the email address that you must use for any FIC queries. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And take care. Goodbye.